Okay, I got 8 shelves here that I'm going to cut down for the new CD shelf I'm building. I'm going to take 5 of these, cut them in half, then I'll rip it down to it's about 5 inches deep. That'll leave about a ½ inch of CD case sticking out in the front so I can just grab onto the side of it and pull it out. These other 3 are going to be 5 inches deep as well, and they'll be cut probably like around 27 just to work around some obstacles I got in the room on that wall, which you'll see at some point. So I'm going to get these cut down now, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so we got all the boards cut down to 5 inches. These are some of the three of the pieces I have left over. So I'm actually going to need 4 of these longer 27-inch pieces on top. So I'm going to take 3 of these pieces, glue them together, so I can make 1 more of these long pieces. So what I'm going to do is, I got 2 cut sides from my table saw. I'm going to take this piece back here to my joiner and run it through, give me 1 nice clean edge. We're going to glue these up now just so they can dry overnight. And we'll let this dry overnight. Okay, we got the glue set up. I'm going to give it a little bit of a sanding first, and then run it through the saw. Alright, we got the saw set up for 5 inches wide. That'll match all the shelves. So we're going to cut that now. Okay, so now I'm just gonna mark these to the width that I need them, or how wide I need them. Need a 15 1/4 is what I'm going with. Alright, these, I want to make sure the edges are nice and straight with each other. Square it off. Flush up against the fence. Alright, that's one side. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this off on this side, get rid of this hole, so that'll go away. Should have 10, 15 1/4, and then 4, 26 1/4. And from my calculations, I got about 450 CDs right now. And with this setup, I should be able to store 562. So that gives me a little bit of wiggle room. So, all right, now we'll start working on the sides. All right, so we're going to cut this piece of pegboard at 5 inches wide, so it matches how deep the shelves are. We're going to do one pass on each side. I have my two side pieces here. These will be standing up on the side. The shelves will be in between the two boards, like that. It's going to be 10 of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, they're going to be centered over these holes. So the bottom one's basically going to be sitting right on the ground. So I just want to center that over the hole. And then I'm going to put a mark on the bottom of this one board here. And then I'm going to cut both of those so they're identical. So this will be sitting on the bottom, and then you can see once this shelf gets screwed down, the holes are pretty close to the center of that board. They'll just be basically like that. This is what I come up with for drilling the holes in the side of the shelves. I clamp it to my bench here just to stand it straight up and down. And then I have this little template of the pegboard that I'm using. And what I did was I referenced the front, which will be the front of the shelf, and then this is the top. So I put the letter F in the front, and then I got these two arrows pointing to the top of the shelf. And then I'm just clamping these right in place here. And I'm taking my, I've decided to just go with two holes right on the outside edge. So I'm taking my self-centering bit first and just putting that in. And then take these off. And then I'm just taking a countersink bit and just drilling straight on down. Trying to stay parallel with the wood, I guess. And then I have the bit set for a little deeper than the screw's actually going to be. It'll really be up here like this, so it's just enough to get, I don't want these screws to go in really tight, especially close to the edge, because I'd be afraid of splitting the wood. So the diameter is about the same diameter as the screw. Then I just take this out and I flip it around, keeping the front edge, here, and then instead of putting it like this way, I now put it like that, because these two arrows are now should be pointing that way. And then that's it. It gives me my two holes on each side, and that'll go into the side of the shelves. Now I just got 9 more of these to make, and then 4 long ones. So I'll try to wrap those up now. So you might recall when I first cut the sides of the pegboard, I needed 3 sides, and that's because I got 2 two sides that are for the small shelves. So the two sides will be the smaller shelves on the bottom, but then when it gets up higher, there's going to be longer shelf over here. So I got one side, two sides, and then this side will be the long one. So that'll be three sides. So I got to cut this third piece so it lines up with the other sides. But I just got to cut a little bit off of this so my whole pattern lines up. Okay, we got two sides here. We're gonna have one side will be, it's gonna be like this. The other side will be like that. This will be on the bottom. Then this will be kind of around here. There's going to be some longer ones up top. But what I got to figure out is this dimension. This bottom board is going to be, has to line up with the holes. So this one over here is going to be cut. This one's going to be sitting like that. So I need to figure out this exact length to the bottom. So what I want to do is I'm just going to put this bottom board, hook it to the sides. This top board, I'm going to hook that to the side, and that'll give me, then I'll be able to mark my, wherever that one ends up, I'll be able to line it up perfectly and get it measured and cut. So. Okay, so now this is like that, and I just need to, I needed this on here to be able to figure out that length. Alright, now that I got that piece done, the next one is the these pieces here. We got 4 of these longer pieces to go up, so I'm going to cut a piece to go right here. Alright, now that's kind of how that's supposed to sit like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece off, back off, because I want that to come up here. I want that to be a full piece from the top down on this side. It's kind of complicated, but I don't have these in longer pieces, so this is the longest I had. So I gotta have a splice down near the bottom, and that's going to be in an area that's not really going to be seen. It's going to be dark down in that bottom there, so I think that'll work out pretty good. So I'm going to get these off now, and then get that another piece up here. Okay, so that'll be like that. Then I got this. It's going to be here somewhere out like that. figure out where that's going to be at. Figure that out. I got some other shelves out here now. So the way this is going to work is there's going to be a shelf every 6 inches. So the pegboard holes are spaced at 1 inch apart, so every 6 holes. So there's going to be a shelf here. Then there'll be a shelf here. A shelf here. This is going to help me line up where my splice is going to be at. I think what I'll do is I'm going to have my splice right here where these two end. The next board will be here. 6. Alright, so that's how that will be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure these are straight. I'm just going to use this one here as my guide. I'm just going to make a line and slice that right off. And I'll just cut that right there. Now I'll take this apart and cut that piece of wood. I just want to mark it, make sure I stay on that side of the line so I don't end up being too short. Alright, that's how it's going to be, like that. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take it back apart. I just did this temporarily so I could get everything cut. Alright, this is the right side. One shelf will be at the very bottom, and then I'm going to go every 6 inches and just countersink the 2 outside holes every 6 inches all the way up. This is the splice that we just got done doing. This will be have a bead of glue in there, and then there'll be another piece glued on top of it just to give it a little bit of extra support. Doesn't really need side to side support because it's all the weight's pretty much pushing straight down on it, so that'll just help reinforce it a little bit. So I'm going to get all those drilled in now. Doesn't need much of a countersink, but just the head's just sticking up just a little bit. Let's take a look at that. See, this is the normal one, so you can kind of see it's got just sticks up just a little bit, and the countersink will kind of let it sit flush. So we're just going to drill all those, then check them. This one here needs a little more. This one here is good. 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 So that's the process. So I'm just going to keep doing that all the way down the board. Okay, yesterday 60 some degrees, today it's down to 30. So now we'll do the same thing to the other side. That'll be different because we'll put them on the other side. Alright, this is the top left, so I'll flip this over and then do the same thing on this. Okay. So I'm making a template to use with my router so I can make this X pattern on the side of the vertical pieces that'll be on this shelf. The shelf will basically sit right here, one shelf here, and then this will be the part you see on the side. So I'm going to cut out these sections that I have marked out here. All I did was connect lines through these holes, and then I'll just cut out this section on all 4 of those using my trim router. So here's the template. I got a piece of scrap wood here that just has a straight edge on it. I'm going to use that as a guide with my trim router here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this 1/4 inch bit in one of the holes, and then I'm just kind of lining it up here to make it sort of straight. And I'm just going to take a clamp each one of these down. And verify we're sitting good here. And we'll just check it in both holes. See, it's a little tight. Seems pretty good. Just want to make sure nothing's going to slide around, and then that can fit. So I'm just going to take it from here, slide it up from this hole to that hole, just to make that one cut. I'm going to put it in the hole first before I start it. That's that one cut right there. I'm just going to do the same to finish this off here. Okay, that was the last cut for that. Then you can see the pattern we got here. So shelf will be sitting here, shelf will be sitting there, and you'll see this cutout on the side. Probably the brown, this is probably what you'll see on the outside. Gray will be on the inside or something like that. But now I just got to fine tune a little bit of these edges so they're, you can see this one here is a little, just a little bit off. This one here is a little bit off. So just get a file, straighten those up so they're kind of straight. This one here is a little messed up too. So take care of that now. So I got this clamped down. I'm just going to take a file, just clean up these edges. See this one here? It's a little bit out of whack on this. So that'll be my template that I'll sit on the full-size piece of this pegboard on the outside of the shelf, and then I'll just use my other router to cut these out, hopefully pretty simply. So I've been working on cutting out the X's, or however you want to call it, X, whatever, but I've been cutting them out. This is my template that I made earlier. I have a line on my template that tells me where each shelf will go, which I can tell that by my countersinks. So I just kind of line the line up with the countersink, and I'm using a piece of this non-slip matting. Helps pretty good to hold the template in place, and I just kind of eye it up the best I can. This is my first time using a router to do this kind of to use a template and stuff, so it's turning out pretty good. I just got to use a file to clean up some of the edges, but it's a lot, yeah, it's working out pretty well. I'm pretty happy with it. So this is kind of good. Then I just got a clamp here, just clamp it to my table saw bench. In the router, I got this adapter that you put on to allow you to follow a template. I think you use it for cutting out letters, stuff like that. It's got a piece of foam board down so the router can go through just enough to cut the piece out of there. And then I'll show you how we do it. Just kind of got the first hole, so just put the router bit in the hole, firm pressure down to keep both pieces close to each other, and I just follow the edge. Then I stop every time and use the vacuum to get some of the dust out of there and the little piece that's cut out. So. This is the left side, so this part down here is sitting right next to a shelf in my office, so I don't need to cut any of these. I just want these to be solid because it doesn't make a difference. So now I just got to cut the rest of them out. The reason I'm stopping in the middle of each cut and vacuuming it out is just because when I first started doing it without doing that, all the dust was just getting blown around inside, so it kind of makes it less dusty. Last one. Okay, that was the last one. This is the right side of the shelf, so this is the part nobody will see because it's going to be right up against a wall. And then this will be on the inside of the CD shelf. So now I just got to go in, clean up these edges a little bit so you don't really see the holes in the corners too much. Just one of them got messed up. There's too much, this one right here, too much dust in between the between that rubber non-slip pad I put on there. I wasn't cleaning the dust out good enough, I guess, and it slipped over. So it's up high. Hopefully it's not too visible, but once I get a CD right up against it, you're not going to see it anyway. So, and I'll just try to file that out just so it's more straight instead of that kind of has that curve on it. So should be okay. Okay, I'm going to put some tung oil on these shelves. I shouldn't have put any of this oil on the sides of the boards because it ended up bleeding into the pegboard. The masonite just sucked it right up and caused a little bit of discoloration around shelf locations. So lesson learned on that. Nothing real special about the tung oil. You just follow the directions. Put it on and then let it sit. Then you just wipe it off. In about an hour, I'll come back and wipe off the excess and let it dry overnight. See how it looks. Maybe give it another coat. I don't know yet. I've already sanded these down. I just sanded them some like 150 sandpaper. And then depending on how this raises any of the grain, I'll sand it again with something probably finer. Just real lightly, just to make it smoother. So I'll just let this dry for about an hour, and come back and wipe it all off. Not much more to it than that, I don't think. Unless I'm doing it wrong, let me know. I don't know. I've done this a couple other times and it turns out really nice. You can just see how it brings out all the grains in the wood, gives it a nice color. It's kind of cold out right now, so I got my kerosene heater running right now. It's about almost 70 degrees in here, so I'm hoping I'll just get this pretty dry tonight. I might take it in the house depending on how cold the weather is going to get tonight. It's really windy right now. So okay, it's been over an hour, so wipe all this off now. I think I'm just going to do one coat, I think. I'll take a look at it tomorrow and see how good it looks. Pretty nice, huh? Not sure what I did, but somewhere from when I was cutting the holes in the side of the shelves, my template I was using, I don't know, I got it flipped around or something, but this template I had was backwards. So what I need to do on this one side, which is the side I picked because I'm not going to see this edge at all, I'm going to countersink the holes here in the middle now instead of the outside, and I got to cut new holes in the edges of the boards, only on the short pieces at the bottom. Count down 4 shelves and then I will start drilling those out. This is the side of the shelf that I got the holes messed up on, so the you can see, I don't know if you can tell, but that right there is where the holes are lining up on this, and you can see the edge over here, how it's off. This is the correct way for it to go. So what I'm going to do is just center it up on this board, and then I'm just going to drill this hole and that hole up. So shouldn't make any, it's not going to make any difference to the board, so it's just a mistake on my part. Get all the short boards there. They're all fixed now, so got my new holes, the 2 in the middle will be on that shelf. And these should go, this will be the outside, so it'll be like that. So this is one side. This is the top for that side, so it goes like this. This next one is where the splice will be. Get the top pieces on. Okay. I'll lift this up upside down. I'll put the so I can work on this section there. I think I will take a clamp. Put a clamp here. Just to hold that section together. That's good. And I can work on this, gluing that together. So this is the splice in the bottom part. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this jar in there and run a bead of glue right across this edge here, just a tiny bead of glue, and then I'll let that set up. Put a couple clamps on that. I'm going to take a clamp. Just a little bit of pressure on that. There. I'm just going to put 2 clamps on this. Just to squeeze that together a little bit better. Not that it needs it, but that looks pretty good. Okay, I got this piece here cut. Just going to put it right here in the middle like that. So I'm going to move these to the outside a little bit. I'm going to take some sandpaper. I'll put some glue right in this area, on this piece. I'm just going to glue that right on there like that. Okay, here's the glue. Just going to line it up with the hose there. Just like that. Alright, I'm going to let that set up. I suppose it cures in a half an hour, so that's the what I just put on there. Okay, this is dry now. Alright, so that's gonna hold that. And now I think I will just get it into the house now. Okay, so I put some marks on the shelf, roughly 5 inches in from the edge. I'm going to put a pocket hole screw through the top of these, this shelf here, and then the shelf at the top. And then I'm going to put a screw into it, into the back of, or into the face of my wall here to kind of support it so it doesn't tip over. So I got this board here, the very top board, and then I'm going to do a couple down at the bottom. And I'm putting these on the top of these shelves at the top, so I don't see the screw holes from the bottom. And then on the bottom shelves, I'll be putting them in through the bottom of the shelf, so I don't, when I'm looking down on the shelves, you don't see the pocket hole. So. Alright, so here's my mark on the piece of wood. So all I'm doing is just kind of centering this Craig jig on that mark. Make sure the clamp is tight. got this one jig here. Is nice because it's clamped. You can clamp it anywhere pretty much. Got it set to 1/2 inch because this wood is just a little over a 1/2 inch. But all I'm worried about is just getting a screw going back into the wall that's going to be right here. So. I'm just taking some sandpaper and getting all the smoothing that out a little bit. So now I'm going to stand this up and put it against the wall here where it'll be finally sitting. I'm going to take this clamp off. This is the clamp I had on to glue this side to the bottom here. I'm going to take that off now, and just since this is the back, I'm going to take this off. I'm going to move it to the front, and I'm just going to put it on because I just glued that. It's probably dry enough, but this has that tung oil on it, so I don't know if the glue, how well the glue is going to hold. So I'm just going to put this here just while I'm lifting it up. About it. I have a screw up here, 2 screws here holding it up against this right here. Then I got 2 at the top. Got two right here, and then 2 near the bottom. And that should be it. Shelf's in place. So all I'm going to do is just, I got one of these short 1-inch screws. So I'm just going to it's going to hold like that, and I got 2 more to put up top. I can't get the camera up there, so I'm going to put those in, and then I'll do the ones on the bottom. Oh yeah, see that? Lock it in nice.